All right. Thank you, Eric. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 16th, 2025 City Council meeting. We just had a work session at 5 o'clock, which went to about 7 minutes ago. Suzanne, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Case,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Nakai, we know she's absent. Councilmember Baldwin,
Here.
Councilmember Gear,
Here.
Councilmember Harvey,
Here.
Councilmember Jones,
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Present.
Thank you.
If everyone would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we have item 3, ceremonies and presentations and appointments. A, appointments to the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee and the Charter Review Committee. Suzanne, are we taking Keep Woodland Park Beautiful first?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Council, as you know, Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee always has openings and is always looking for volunteers. And we're grateful when we do get someone to apply to volunteer on that committee. Councilmember Harvey serves as our council liaison on that committee, as well as our staff member, Kristen Higginbotham. We have an application from Terry Vaughn, who is interested in being on that committee. And I personally don't know Terry, so I need to see if she's here in the audience. Terry Vaughn? Okay, she's not with us in
All
the
right.
audience. So
Well,
council can decide whether they'd like to appoint her or wait till she's here to be present.
Council, I think with considering the nature of Keep Woodland Park Beautiful, would you mind if we appoint her and then Suze can administer the oath of office, or how would you like to proceed, Carol?
As the liaison, I would like to be able to interview her because I don't know her either. I know
Okay.
at our last meeting, I was comfortable with appointing a couple individuals who were not here because I knew them
Correct.
from their time on the planning commission, but I don't know Miss Vaughn either. I'm excited about her application and the position she holds now. And we were this year, we're very thankful for the services that Waste Management and Teller Waste had served or had provided for the cleanup. And I'm
Sure.
assuming now that she's the manager of Apex that we'll have that same opportunity, but I really would like her to come
Okay.
before the council.
All right.
So what I'll do is I'll make contact, Kristen and I will make contact with her and invite her to the February 6th meeting, see if she can make that.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, moving on. We will now consider the applications for the Charter Review Committee. Suzanne.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. As you will recall from the last council meeting, we passed a resolution for the Charter Review Committee, reestablishing it, reenacting it. And we appointed at the last council meeting, we appointed 3 citizens to be on that committee. The resolution states that it can have between 2 and 4 citizens from, they have to be City of Woodland Park residents. And council, tonight we have 2 people. We had 3 applications. One applicant, Mr. Michael Stinner, pulled out. And so now we have 2 applicants here this evening to consider. So council can make a decision to appoint one of them, appoint 2 of them, whatever council's desire is. We would have to amend a resolution if you should change it from, 2 to 4 people to add another one, which would make 5, we would have to amend the resolution. But both applicants, Mr. Neal, Rusty Neal, and Mr. Joe Fury are with us this evening to be interviewed and tell council why they'd like to be on the Charter Review Committee.
Thank you. All right, who wants to go first? Mr. Fury or Mr. Neal?
If you want to do them in order that I have them, I have Mr. Neal first.
All right, would you join us at the podium, please?
Hi, my name is Rusty Neal. I'm a resident of Woodland Park.
Welcome. Good to
And
see you, Rusty. Any questions? Would you just give us a little bit of information for the publics about yourself and
this is
why you
for
want to
the
be here?
public. I know all of the people up here because I was a council member that served one term. I didn't run for a second term because we had a medical situation with my family that fortunately surgery took care of it and we don't have to move. So I now have time available. So the same reason that I ran for council, I have a brain and time, I offer it to the city. I have no agenda, just I'd love to participate, but if Joe wants to do it too, and there's only one slot, he's more than welcome to take the slot. I'm just here to volunteer.
Thank you, Rusty. Council, do you have any questions for Rusty? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Mr. Fury, would you join us at the
Did you have a
podium, please?
question?
Do you have a question? Okay, we can bring him back. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Case and council members. My name's Joe Fury. I live in the city of Woodland Park. I've lived within city limits for 22 years. And also I lived an additional 7 years in that piece of Sunnywood that's surrounded by Woodland Park, but not actually in the city limits. So I've lived very close to Woodland Park for 29 years. God willing, I hope to remain in Woodland Park. So I'm interested in our city. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to contribute to the charter. I've looked through it and not word for word, but there are some areas I think I could contribute ideas to and perhaps simplify some things and perhaps add to some other areas. I'm retired Air Force, 26 years in the Air Force, and then another 17 years working for a contractor, contributing to the Air Force. And a lot of that time was working with documents. I was a launch safety engineer, and we were constantly updating our 1,000+ book of launch safety requirements and range safety requirements. Also worked with the FAA and their Office of Commercial Space Transportation as they were getting ready to license commercial launches. They had to essentially replicate the Air Force launch safety requirements. And I helped them do that. Plus a number of Air Force regs, we were kind of blazing the trail on space safety, orbital safety, launch safety. So I've got a lot of experience with documents.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Council-
Oh, also, I can vouch for Rusty Neal. He's a friend of mine. So anyway, I'd really like to get this opportunity, hopefully with Rusty.
Thank you. Council questions, Terry?
Mr. Fury, it's
Yes.
very nice to meet you finally. You've been here 22 years. Have you ever been on any board or committee before?
Not in the city, but I have attended many council meetings and made comments and suggestions and got involved in some zoning issues.
I knew your name from when I very first moved here, just from seeing you interacting on social media. And when I saw your application, I'm like, yes, it's good because you have been outspoken, both positively and negatively. And so to have a citizen like you come and jump in the middle of the fray, it's exciting. So thank you for applying.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else have a question for Mr. Fury? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, council, we are going, Suzanne has prepared ballots for us to write our selection or selections on. One thing I just would say that we did pass a resolution with the intent of having 4 members from the community serving with the staff. And
How many do we have?
We have 3. You appointed 3 the last council
Mhm.
meeting.
so with the addition of the 4th person from the community, we will have 9 on the board. And sometimes when you get more than that, it's hard to get anything done. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that we can't amend our resolution. That's entirely up to us. So,
Well, and I'd also comment that those are public meetings. They'll be posted and
Mhm.
an agenda will be provided. So
absolutely,
community input will always be welcome. It's just that there will be 9 voting members.
correct.
Actually, there will not be 9
Staff
voting
doesn't
members.
vote.
The staff cannot vote. It will be the
So-
2 council members and the 4 citizens.
Thank you. So Suzanne is handing out the ballot. If you would just place your selections on the ballot and fold it in half, she'll pick it up from you.
Bit easier than last.
And just while we're waiting, I would just encourage anyone and everyone in the community. We have a lot of boards that have space. So if this doesn't work out, or if it does, but I would encourage anyone to apply to get involved. It's really great to learn about the different facets of the city.
And so just so the public knows, when we do these ballots, we read them into the record, so they're not secret. So we'll read them into the record now. I will note who voted for whom. So I'll start with Mayor Case voted for Rusty Neal. And they're not in order the way they're sitting. Councilmember Smith voted for Rusty Neal. Councilmember Jones voted for Joe Fury. Councilmember Baldwin voted for Joe Fury. Councilmember Gear voted for Joe Fury. And Councilmember Harvey voted for Joe Fury. So Mr. Fury has received 4 votes and Mr. Neal 2 votes.
All right. Thank you, council. Congratulations, Mr. Fury.
Well,
Rusty?
we have to make a motion to appoint.
Oh, sorry.
I move to appoint Mr. Fury to the Charter Review Committee.
I second.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussions, council? Suzanne?
Thank you. Case,
Yes.
Nakai is not here, sorry.
Yeah.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
All right, like I was saying, thank you to both of you for applying. Congratulations, Mr. Fury. And again, please don't be discouraged. Do get involved with our boards and I think Planning Commission needs some alternates, do they not, Karen?
We don't have alternates on planning commission, but we do have 1 position open. We have 2 alternates available on the Board of Adjustment.
That's right. Thank you so much. So we have 1 position on the Planning Commission and 2 on the Board of Adjustment, if anyone would like to get involved in that capacity, among other boards. So thank you again, and we'll move on.
Mayor, with your permission, I would like to administer the oath of office to Mr.
yes.
Fury.
And also Lee Brown was reappointed to the Planning Commission, but he was not with us the last time in order to administer his oath of office. So we'd like to do that at the same time. Lee, if you would join us at the front as well. It's a good thing Suzanne's here to keep me in line.
Yes.
Did you need me to do something?
No, I just was saying, I was just glad you were here to keep me in line.
Oh, okay. I thought you needed me to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. And please state your name.
I, Joseph Fury,
Thank you. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
charter and ordinances
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
of Planning Commissioner,
Planning Commissioner.
of Charter Review Committee member,
of Charter Review Committee
for the city of Woodland Park, upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations and thank you. Congratulations, thank you. I'll have you sign these so it's official. And they're right here. So Mr. Brown, here's yours. And then we'll do Mr. Fury. And we'll be in touch with the dates, times, and all of that. That's it. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you. Perfect. I'll take care of the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right, council, we've added, and I know it's before item 4, additions, deletions, and corrections, but we are adding item 3B for Aaron to give us a sales tax update. Aaron?
Thank you. All right, tonight I have an update for Eric. Can you load that one up for me? We're having fun. We have too much fun around here. Did you notice that? Oh, no, thank you. All right.
Never have too much
So
fun.
tonight I have for you the November 2024 sales tax that were collected in the month of December. So far, year to date, we are up 2.3% over last year. We're up 174,000. Total collections year to date are $7,693,621. The month of November was a little bit softer, but we did have quite a bit of snow. So I'm not that surprised, but we were up 0.4% over last year, month over month. Not my favorite. I'd like to see it at 3%, but we were up 0.4. So that's why we're up year to date, 2.3%. Lodging tax continues to decline. We're at 15.2% down year over year, which is $65,000 less than last year, for a total of 364,000. The month of November was down 32.6%. All right. And then this is the 3-year chart that we have. You can see the light green line is the current year. So we are up every single month except for March still. All right. Any questions there?
No questions, council?
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, item 4 is additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda. Do we have anything else, Suze?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Item 5 is the consent calendar. We have 2 items, council, that can be taken together or separate. It's your desire. Item A is approval of the January 2nd, 2025 City Council meeting minutes. And item B is approval of the December 2024 Statement of Expenditures.
I make a motion to approve the consent calendar as is.
Thank you. Second? Thank you. Any further discussion, council? Suzanne?
Thank you. Baldwin?
Yes.
Gear?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Jones?
Yep.
Smith?
Yep.
Case?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you, council. Item 6 is public comment on items not on the agenda. Suzanne, do we have folks signed up this evening?
The chief informed me that we do not.
All right. Anyone in the audience that would like to address the council?
Just what, so we didn't approve the expenditures? You
We
did?
approved the entire consent
Oh,
calendar.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yep.
Thank you for asking. All right. Yes.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
I do, thank you, Councilmember Baldwin. We did have one little, announcement we did have to make regarding the charter review that I failed to mention earlier. So thank you.
Go ahead.
Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Last week, council voted, or last, council meeting, council voted to appoint Councilmember Baldwin and Councilmember Nakai. No, Harvey and
Harvey and
Nakai to the Charter Review Committee. Councilmember Harvey has decided that she is not going to be doing that. She's going to come as needed, but she's not going to be the member of the committee.
Don't look at me like that. Okay.
So we have to appoint someone else, and we can either go to the next highest vote getter, which would be Councilmember Baldwin. That's why I mentioned her name, or we can do a whole new vote. So council can just give me direction on would they like it to go to Miss Baldwin, who was the third highest vote getter, or redo the vote.
The question I have is, does Councilmember Baldwin want to be the next highest vote getter.
You can ask Ms. Baldwin.
She's thinking.
I didn't vote for myself. So, no, I'll be happy to do it. I think it'll be an interesting project, so.
Yeah, and my rationale, I made this statement before we voted at the last council meeting, is that I'd be honored if I were selected, but I really felt that it was time for a new perspective. I've seen the Charter Review Committee meeting or movie once and all of the sequels after that. In fact, we do need a new perspective. I personally think our charter works just fine for this city, and that's another reason that it's time for new eyes to take a look at it. I have full confidence in councilperson, council member, councilwoman Baldwin taking the role on, and I think we've got a great group of citizens to support that. But again, if you need my assistance, I'm there. I just won't have a vote.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for your service in that capacity. All right, council, is that acceptable to you all that
Yeah.
Terry moves into that position?
Yep.
All right,
Absolutely.
all right, thank you.
Do we need to
Thank
make a formal motion for that?
We're good.
Okay.
We're good. Just the council consensus is sufficient.
Now we're back to public comment for items not on the agenda, and I did not see anyone in the audience. And so I'm going to move on to item 7, which is unfinished business. We have none. Item 8 is ordinances on initial posting. Council, I just want to caution you, this ordinance is a quasi judicial ordinance and item. And so this is the first reading of that ordinance. And the purpose is to do that and to set the public hearing, which would be February 6th. So all the presentation, the attachments, everything for the packet will be in that packet for the 6th. But Karen does have a short presentation, and then we'll have that discussion and public comment at the next meeting. All right? Karen?
And we mean very, very short presentation. Just because a lot of times, the question I get when it comes to land use or land related items is like, well, where is this? So that is the burning question I'm going to answer this evening. At the very end of Lachlan Way, here in the southeast portion of our city, Lachlan Way comes up and around the hillside. There's a cul-de-sac at the end, and our water tank property is sitting right there. And this is actually an ordinance related to an easement through our water tank property that would then benefit the folks that own Lot 7, their ability to get in and out of Lot 7. So back in 2018, when the subdivision was approved, at that time, City Council approved access through our water tank site to Lot 7. This easement agreement further refines roles and responsibilities around that easement itself. So with that, the staff recommendation is for City Council to approve on initial posting ordinance number 1488, series 2025, and set that public hearing for February 6, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Do you have any questions of staff? Limited questions of staff. All right. I'd look for a motion and set to approve this on initial posting and set the public hearing for February 6, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, Suzanne?
Thank you. Baldwin,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, council. That takes us to item 9, public hearings. Item A is approval of ordinance 1487, series 2025, and ordinance declaring the instrument for the public notification process and method for the city of Woodland Park for the year 2025. Suzanne?
Thank you. As we discussed last council meeting, this is just a formality. The city has to announce how all of our public notices, ordinances, and everything will be posted for the city council. My recommendation, as it's been for the last 5 years, is that we do that on the city website.
Thank you. Any discussion, council, or questions of staff? All right, I'd look for a motion, please.
Make a motion for the approval of ordinance number 1487, series 2025, an ordinance declaring the instrument for the public notification process and method for the city of Woodland Park for the year 2025.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Suzanne?
This one we have to see if there's any public
Oh,
comments.
thank you so much. See, she keeps everything
That's
the way it's
okay.
supposed to be.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, I will now open the public hearing portion of the public comment portion of the public hearing for ordinance 1487. Anyone like to make comment on this ordinance? All right, I will close that public comment and look for that motion again.
Well,
And
we,
second.
yeah, we have the motion. It's
Okay.
Gear and Smith. So how about I take the vote?
Go ahead, Suze. Thank
Okay.
you.
Gear,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Case,
Yes,
Baldwin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
thank you. I'll try and get this one right. 9B, approval of a new tavern liquor license for the Ute Lodge Bar and Grill LLC doing business as Ute Lodge Bar and Grill located at 204/206 West Midland Avenue, Woodland Park, Colorado. Suzanne, this is QJ again, council.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an exciting, we get very excited when we bring a new liquor license to the council and the thought of a new business in town. It's always very exciting for us in the city manager's office. This is an application from Pam Mikesell, who is with us in the audience tonight. She has purchased what council may know as the former Uden and has purchased that building, is opening a new business that will be called the Ute Lodge Bar and Grill. It's located at 204/206 West Midland Avenue. Couple of details before we invite Ms. Mikesell up to speak and you vote. The applicant is the Ute Lodge Bar and Grill. The LLC has a current sales tax license and the federal ID number. Everything is intact with that. The applicant did a petition of needs and desires for the area, and it was a successful petition with all the adequate signatures. The location is eligible to be licensed, and possession of the property is documented by a deed that was signed on November 24th. So they have purchased the building. The application was submitted to the clerk's office on December 6th. The property was posted on January 6th as required by law. The public notice was posted on the city's website January 6th. Character of the applicant is not an issue for this hearing, and all applicable fees have been paid. So I would like to invite Ms. Mikesell up to explain to you and let you know her new adventure.
Welcome, Pam.
I'm Pam Mikesell. I also own 110 Reserve downtown Woodland Park. This new adventure, I'm not really sure. There's a lot. But my main focus is helping the city grow. I'm tired of looking at all of these empty buildings that, for instance, the Ute has really amazing history, great bones. It just needs love. And I'm providing the love. Oh gosh, am I providing the love to that building? I cannot tell you what the menu is going to be, but I will say that it will be a very nice restaurant. It will not be traditional dive bar as the history has made it to be. And so I look forward to having everyone come and stop by and see it. I think everyone's going to be pleased with it. And I'm very proud of the work that we've done so far.
Thank you. Council, do you have any questions of the applicant?
No real questions. I just want to say thank you for purchasing it and I very much look forward to when you get it open.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would echo that. And Pam, what is the timeline that you're looking at? Do you not?
Well, I would have last week said February, March. I'm kind of thinking more March or April.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as I can, I promise those doors will be open.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
I'm working diligently on it.
And we heard there's a significant restoration underway, especially with the historic bar that's there. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was an interesting endeavor. It was covered in upholstery and then painted over.
Oh.
And so the bar itself is actually from 1920s.
Oh,
And so we are restoring it back to its natural state.
excellent. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Pam, how much of the work are you guys doing yourselves and how much of it are you getting contractors to do?
So far, we've not needed contractors, so I can paint, I can sand.
I'd like to volunteer my time. I love doing stuff like that. So if you need somebody to roll a brush, happy to do it.
I know, and Dr. Reason was closed today. I really needed to visit with him.
I can vouch for Councilmember Baldwin's skill.
Perfect.
The comment I wanted to make, and this is for our planning director to also ring in on, we've been trying for the longest time to get a plaque for that building, but the owner was out of state, at least out of Woodland Park. And now that the owner is here in town, we need to pursue getting a plaque for the building. That is a gem, and I'm so glad that you're there.
Well, I do appreciate that, and I would love to have that. I am holding on to as much of the history of it as I can. The murals that are in there, we did have to restore one of them. They were in pretty bad shape, but I have an employee who is also an artist, and so she did some light restoration to it. You can't even tell that it's been restored, but
Excellent.
I plan on keeping as much of the history that I can.
Okay, thanks, Pam.
Anything else? All
Okay.
right. Nothing else from the council. I will now open the public comment portion of the public hearing and invite anyone that has comment on this item to come forward. No one online, I assume?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'll close that public comment portion, and if there's no further discussion, council, I will look for a motion, please.
I make a motion for the approval of a new tavern liquor license for the Ute Lodge Bar and Grill LLC, DBA Ute Lodge Bar and Grill located at 204-206 West Midland Avenue, Woodland Park, Colorado, 80863.
Second.
Thank you, council. Any further discussion? Suzanne? Harvey?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
Baldwin?
Yes.
Gear?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Congratulations, Pam. Best wishes. Looking forward to it. That takes us to item 10. I see Kip's already at the podium. 10A is approve resolution number 930, series 2025, a resolution establishing a single-family residential water tap allotment for 2025. Welcome.
Thank you. Before you is resolution 930, establishing the single family tap allotment at 80 for 2025. You're asking yourself why 80? That 80 consists of 60 taps from the tap management plan and 20 taps from the borrow bank. It has been set at 80 for as long as I can remember. The reason for that is with the tap management plan, it limits tap sales to 10% of the tap planning number or not to exceed 60. So in here I have the tap management plan number at 995 taps. That is established by our water supply and how much water we have, and we convert that into a population, therefore into a tap number. So after the water supply is all added up and how much water we're using and we're budgeting for, that number trickles out from there. So the borrow bank, also the 20 in the borrow bank is carried over from year to year. If we don't use the 20 in the borrow bank, it stays 20. It never goes over 20. That's the way that was established in the tap management plan as well. The last time we used taps from the borrow bank was 20 years ago, if that explains it. In 2024, we sold 27 taps. The year before that, I believe it was 49. And the year before that was 49. So we kind of have a little downturn in tap sales. Could be due to various reasons, but still very healthy when it comes to taps, and that tap number, that 995, will grow as we develop more water, and we have that planned in the future. So I ask for my recommendation is approval of resolution 930, establishing the single family tap allotment at 80 for 2025. Any questions?
Council questions of staff? All right, thank you, Kip. Any further discussion, council? If not, I would ask for a motion on this item.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 930, series 2025, a resolution establishing the single-family residential water tap allotment for 2025.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to discuss? Suzanne?
Thank you. Jones,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Case,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Harvey.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. Okay, that takes us to reports, mayor's report, and just to continue a bit of conversation about our work session we had on the natural healing centers, also known as the mushrooms, and the treatment of traumatic stress and different things like that. So would you like the staff to put out a poll? Would there be time before the next meeting, Aaron? Do we have a work session already?
I don't believe we have a work session scheduled.
No.
No.
Okay, would before the next meeting work for you all?
Are we, do we have the ability to provide email input individually to the staff? Because I know that Betsy has recommended that we take a look at some of the example ordinances that are out there. I'd be willing to do that and say, hey, I like this one, but I would add this, this, and this. And then that would preclude having a work session, and then let Betsy come back to us with whatever she cobbles together after email input.
Betsy, would that work for you?
Yes, I believe it would work for me, and if we wanna, yeah, and if I believe, there's questions that would merit a work session or anything, I would reach back out and see if that's.
Oh, and we have a use table now. We know where medical facilities can operate. And we've also have restrictions on the sale of alcohol in proximity to school facilities, daycare centers. I would just think that those would be incorporated in our base ordinance. And then any other something that we thought would be appropriate for our community from our example ordinances from Castle Rock and Frederick. What was the other one?
Castle Rock, Frederick, and Parker, and also I know I didn't put it in the packet, but you asked about Monument. That one's right in line with the similar.
Okay, yeah, and I think we all realize that we're not in a position to prohibit this type of operation. We're only in a position to mandate how it is sold and when it is sold and where it is sold. So if we've got some good examples, why waste more of our attorney's time and the staff's time if we could do this by email?
Okay, we did have a hour and a half of a very good dialogue and public input from various folks. So we did get a lot of good information, as did the public. So let's move that way.
Yeah.
If we could get that, if we had that done within the next week, would that be enough time for you to put that together for our next meeting in the packet?
Yes, it should be fine, yeah.
Okay.
And I like Carol's approach for that. So
Does that
we'll
work for everyone else?
We'll
Would
bring
you-
an initial posting on February
Mhm.
6th to the council.
Well, I don't know if a week is enough time,
Okay.
I
honestly.
don't know if we'll be ready to get. to
We've
initial
got
posting.
we've got the latitude of a moratorium for a 6-month period, and I can't recall when that ends. It must be in June.
Maybe
But
we work to the 16th meeting.
I would even say March,
Okay.
for the first meeting in March.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Okay.
All right.
But, well, I know all of us need a suspense or we'll blow it off. So I would say have comments back to Betsy in order to react for a draft to be available to discuss at our first meeting in March.
Okay. How about, Susan, do you have a recommendation?
Well, if the council meeting is March 6th, then you want to do that as the initial posting. We would have to have it in the packet on February 27th. So I'm sure Betsy then can tell you when she would need it by, if we have to have it in the packet.
Ideally, I would like to have it 2 weeks before.
So,
Excuse me.
yes,
I need to question procedure. I apologize, but just so we're tracking. If there are potentially changes to the zoning regulations that needs to go through hearings through planning commission
Yeah.
before it gets to initial posting with city.
I
council.
think we're-
good
don't
point.
think they're
I
planning.
think we're comfortable with the
Yeah.
zone. What I did want to see was the maps. Obviously we
It's in
have
your
them,
packet, yeah.
So I think, well, it would have been, it would have been nice for Karen to present them and take some questions on it. But if we do have some questions, we can direct them to Aaron or Karen and go that route. But it seems like the zoning is pretty well established.
Unless we were to suggest zoning outside of the permitted use zones now
Mhm.
for medical facilities. And if we wanted to give it some other designation, but yeah, Karen, I'm sorry, whatever we come up with as our guidance still has to go to the planning
Yeah,
commission.
yeah.
And then the
Yes.
planning commission would come back to us with their recommended draft.
So
Thank goodness.
would, to give us some time in case we need to have a work session before the deadline for the first meeting in March, would February 7th, which is a Friday, that's 3 weeks
That should be.
from now,
sufficient.
February s-
to get comments back to,
Oh.
of the
that's
items
Ed.
we
Yeah.
reviewed
Okay, yeah.
to the staff.
Mhm.
And then they can collate that and the staff can see what needs to happen and whether or not we need to
Right.
get together
That's
for a
fair.
work
Yeah,
session.
I think that's fair.
Okay?
And
Does that
understanding
sound like
that
a
the-
plan, staff?
Yes, from my perspective, I think that's a really excellent way to
Yeah.
move forward. It gives us a goal and a time, but also fluidity depending on how it all goes.
Understanding that
That's
it's
great.
gonna go through planning commission before it comes to us anyway.
Yes.
Mhm. All right. There you have it.
Yeah.
Yes, did I hear something?
I don't know. You good? You're good?
Right. It doesn't have to go through planning commission, only if
Let's
there's
see how,
a change.
Changes, right?
Right,
It just really depends upon what's put together. So
Correct.
that's all.
Correct.
And I don't know where it's gonna go.
Right.
you'll keep that in mind.
Yes, that's,
Thank you.
I'll be, but I can't tell you for sure, but it is important for us to all keep in mind that that there's definitely an opportunity or chance or requirement that it'll need to go to planning commission, but until I have firm direction, I can't guarantee, but just good for everybody to keep in mind as time of frame as we go along.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. All right. Mayor's report. I'm looking at the CDOT projects and I thought I would share again, 2025 construction for the US 24 resurfacing from Florissant through Divide is advertising. And
Kelly, does that include from where the last resurfacing effort stopped in between Woodland Park and Divide?
it does, I believe.
Perfect.
And the Colorado 67 north of Woodland Park improvements is in advertising as well for 2025 construction. Keep you posted. I have something here I wanted to share and read into the record to acknowledge some compliments from the public, if you don't mind. Dear Aaron and Mayor Case, this came on January 8th from the Woodland Park Farmers Market. On behalf of the Woodland Park Farmers Market, the Board of Directors of Teller County Farmers Market Association, our volunteers and interns, I wish to sincerely thank the City of Woodland Park for their continued support and sponsorship for last year, meaning 24. I also want to thank the Departments of Parks and Recreation for doing such an outstanding job of upkeep at Memorial Park and working with us closely to ensure that we have everything we need weekly. Public Works employees for working with us every Friday to make sure safety barricades were up and taken down on time every week. And to the Planning Department for making sure all the correct sign-offs were done before the market started. Along those lines, many thanks to the Woodland Park Police Department for doing a patrol of the area during our early morning setup and making a quick round through the market when officers had time. We are coming upon our 35th year of service to the community of Woodland Park. We look forward to the 2025 season. And that was from Mary Etta Dodson, who is the director of the Farmers Market. Awesome stuff. Isn't it? Yeah. It's nice that they take the time to say thank you. Community events, January 16th through February 6th, 2025. Monday, January 20th, Martin Luther King Junior Day. The WAC, the Woodland Aquatic Center, will open with open swim from 12 to 6. Usually they're closed, but we're going to try opening on days that kids are out of school to give them one more thing that they might enjoy doing, something to do. A reminder that the Youth Pass Cultural Center will be closed until April to accommodate the new fire suppression and air conditioning systems being installed. And the bar will not be open. Little humor. That's all I have. Terry?
I don't really have anything formal. I do want to say that we had a meeting today with the lobbyists that we share with Monument and Fountain, and there are already in this legislative session, 150 bills that have been begun.
In
But
the
just
first week.
So you know, and then I have a meeting tomorrow morning with Colorado Municipal League, and we usually go through these things and talk about how we want the people to work and which direction. So there's a lot coming, but you can rest assured that your city manager and city clerk and myself and your mayor are always taking into consideration what's best for Woodland Park. So we don't get caught up in the Denver stuff. And then the only other thing is I wonder if we can, in Chief, I think somebody told me today that Chief's working on the loitering, pandering kind of thing. Yeah.
Panhandling and camping.
Panhandling, yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure that's still in the hopper.
Thank you. Jeff?
All right, so Parks and Rec update. First, the Meadowwood Sports Complex skating rink schedule can be found on the city's website. So those of you who are interested in taking advantage of that, please consult the city's website. And I know the mayor already announced that the Aquatic Center will be open on Monday for Martin Luther King Day. The schedule I got from Cindy's a little different than what you had said. So lap swim will be open from 5:30 a.m. to noon, and then 7 to 8 p.m. And then open swim is from noon to 7 p.m. So just wanted to get that out there as well.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, and that is all I have.
Thank you. Carol?
Nothing from the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful committee, because we had to cancel our last meeting. We'll reschedule that as soon as possible and it'll be posted. I did attend the staff's seminar on temporary use permits, very helpful. I think we had several folks that plan on having events in 2025. And that was certainly a means to clarify our process for applying for a TUP, and also answered some questions during that time. So thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, just one item for the public, I think, this coming Tuesday morning, we're having a work session on micro grants for the DDA. So that'll be 7:30 a.m. I just looked at the posting thing. We don't have an agenda out there yet, right? I don't think so. But yeah, but it will be a work session on the micro grant process, and I think it'll be a great session. We've got some good feedback from the public, and yeah, we should be able to put together a nice program. That's
Excellent. Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Nope.
Nothing? All right, thank you. City Attorney?
I have nothing really to report, but I appreciate your all's questions and all the cooperation in the work session, and I thought it went well. So look forward to direction and moving this forward.
Thank you. City Manager?
I have nothing further at this time.
All right. City Clerk, you don't have anything either?
I can always say something, and what I would.
I had a
I want
feeling.
to say two things. Last night we had our first Citizens Academy session.
That's great.
And we have some of our students are here. Kristen gave them homework. And one of their homework assignments was to come to city council, watch it on Zoom or whatever, but they have until the next Citizens Academy to report back that they've done it. We had a great time last night. It was Erin, myself, and the mayor that did the presenting. They asked a lot of great questions. It was also Jeff Wilson was our attorney for the night, and he was here, and it was just a fun great informative session. We had the grilled cheese truck. Sorry, Steve. I know you wanted them to come here for council, but we had them there last night serving dinner and they donated the dinner. They were one of our sponsors. And the second thing is I always like to point out the new things in the council chambers, and you will notice our new logo hanging up here. This is, Kristen had this hung today. She ordered it, Rob hung it. And if you look at Zoom or when you're on Zoom and anyone that's speaking at the podium, I've been looking at it all night and it's right behind them and it looks awesome. So thanks, Kristen.
And I'd also like to thank you, Kristen. You did an amazing job last night. So have the confidence that you are marvelous and carry on. You're welcome. And welcome to you all from the Academy for being here this evening. And with that, if there's nothing else, this is adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for being here.